An ultralight aircraft that looks like a fighter jet, flies insanely fast, and can be flown with minimal training. This is the Shark.
Welcome to the Light Aircraft Company. We'd like to introduce the Shark, comes to British soil for the first time.
A futuristic ultralight that flies like a fighter jet, cruises incredibly fast, and is surprisingly accessible to pilots everywhere. Now here's where things get interesting. Most ultralight aircraft look, well, like ultralights. Small, simple, sometimes even a little awkward in the air. But the moment you see the Shark, that expectation disappears instantly. At first glance, it doesn't look like a recreational aircraft at all. The sharp nose, sleek fuselage, and aggressive aerodynamic lines make it look more like a military trainer or a miniature fighter jet sitting on the runway. Even the tandem cockpit layout, with one seat behind the other, adds to that fighter-like vibe. But the real shock comes when you realize this thing is actually classified as an ultralight. Despite its lightweight category, the Shark delivers performance that feels closer to larger sport aircraft. We're talking about a seriously fast cruise speed, an incredibly low stall speed, endurance that stretches for hours, and a range that most small personal aircraft would envy. That mix of speed, efficiency, and striking design is exactly why aviation enthusiasts can't stop talking about it. And it doesn't stop there. The aircraft is packed with modern avionics and advanced safety systems, making it far more sophisticated than traditional ultralights. This isn't just another small airplane. It's part of a new generation of high-performance personal aviation. And the aircraft at the center of all this excitement? The Shark Ultralight. Wait, you're watching right now, but not subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so we can move on with the video. You did? Okay, cool. Now back to the planes. One of the biggest reasons the Shark is attracting so much attention isn't just how fast it looks or how sleek the design is. It's how incredibly accessible the aircraft is to ordinary pilots. In the United Kingdom, a person can legally fly this aircraft with around 31 hours of flight training. That's it. Compared to traditional private pilot licenses that often require far more training, this is a dramatically lower barrier. The reason comes down to its classification. The Shark falls under microlight aviation rules, which are designed to make flying more approachable while still maintaining safety. And here's where things get even more interesting. The medical requirement is far simpler than what most pilots expect. Instead of going through strict aviation medical exams, pilots can use a self-certified medical declaration. In simple terms, if you're medically fit enough to drive a car, you're considered fit enough to fly this aircraft. That one rule alone changes everything. A lot of experienced pilots eventually lose their flying privileges because they can't pass traditional aviation medical checks anymore. Aircraft like the Shark give those pilots a way back into the sky. And in the United States, upcoming aviation rule changes, known as Mosaic, could allow aircraft like this to be flown under sport pilot licenses. If that happens, the potential market could explode. Because combining fighter-style performance with this level of accessibility is something aviation rarely sees.
This is the plane that flies.
And this is where the story really starts. The test flight begins at Little Snoring Airfield in Norfolk, a quiet but busy aviation spot not far from the coast. It sits roughly 8 miles from the North Norfolk shoreline and about 20 miles northwest of Norwich. It's the kind of place where you hear propellers before you see the aircraft. Here in the UK, the Shark is distributed by the Light Aircraft Company, and today's flight is happening in their demonstrator aircraft. Parked on the apron is the machine everyone's talking about, registered GMAKO. The name isn't random. It's a nod to the mako shark, the fastest shark species in the ocean. And honestly, standing next to the aircraft, the name feels fitting. The pilot for the day is Stuart Hudson, both an engineer and the company's Shark demonstrator pilot. Before the flight even begins, there's time to walk around the aircraft and really take it in. Up close, the first thing that stands out is the build quality. The finishing looks sharp, precise, and clearly high-end. What's surprising, though, is its size. In person, the Shark is actually smaller than it first appears. Yet the sleek design, pointed nose, and tight proportions make it look powerful and incredibly fast. Even sitting still, you can tell there's serious engineering behind this machine. But here's where the engineering story gets even better. The Shark isn't just built to look fast. It's engineered for performance from the inside out. Its monocoque composite airframe, made from a mix of glass fiber and carbon fiber, keeps the structure incredibly strong yet extremely light, maximizing efficiency, speed, and handling. The fuselage measures about 6.85 meters, 22 feet, with a wingspan of roughly 7.9 meters, 26 feet, while the elliptical wings reduce drag and improve aerodynamics. A carbon fiber main spar and auxiliary spar provide structural rigidity, and large single-slotted Fowler flaps covering nearly 60% of the trailing edge enhance lift for takeoff and landing. The Shark also embraces modularity, with removable wings and a horizontal tail for easier storage and transport. Control surfaces are mechanically actuated for reliable pilot input, while trim and flaps are electrically operated for smooth cockpit adjustments. The retractable tricycle landing gear improves aerodynamics and speed, with a steerable nose wheel and hydraulic disc brakes ensuring precise handling. Electric motors operate the gear, but emergency cables allow it to free fall and lock if needed. Visual LED indicators inside the cockpit and illuminated wheel wells confirm proper gear status, showcasing attention to detail rarely seen in ultralights. Every aspect of the Shark reflects a philosophy: maximize performance, minimize weight, and keep aerodynamics clean. Now here's the part that surprises a lot of people. When pilots first hear how quick the Shark is, they usually assume it must be running some huge engine. But the reality is much simpler, and honestly more impressive. The aircraft currently uses a single engine option, the Rotax 912 ULS, producing around 100 horsepower. On paper, that might not sound like much. Plenty of larger aircraft use far more power, but the Shark doesn't rely on brute force. Its speed comes from clean aerodynamics and an extremely lightweight structure. The engine is paired with a variable pitch composite propeller, which allows the propeller blades to adjust their angle depending on the flight phase. During climb, it can generate strong thrust, and during cruise, it can shift for better efficiency and higher speed. Fuel flexibility is another advantage. The aircraft can run on MOGAS UL91 or AVGAS 100 LL, giving owners several fueling options depending on availability. There are also two fuel tank configurations available, 100 liters or 150 liters. And this is where the efficiency really shows. In long-range cruise, the Shark burns roughly 12 liters of fuel per hour. That efficiency translates into something remarkable: more than 11 hours of endurance and a range of over 1,600 miles. For a small ultralight aircraft, those numbers are honestly staggering. But step inside the Shark, and the fighter jet comparison starts to make even more sense. The cockpit isn't just stylish, it's designed as a Kevlar safety cell, similar in concept to the protective structures used in Formula One race cars. The idea is simple: build a strong protective shell around the occupants without adding unnecessary weight. The seating layout is tandem, meaning one seat sits directly behind the other. Both are slim bucket-style seats, almost like something you'd expect in a racing car. The rear seat is positioned slightly higher than the front seat, giving the pilot in the back better visibility over the nose and wings. Then there's the canopy. Instead of a typical aircraft door and windshield setup, the Shark uses a fighter-style tinted canopy that opens to the side. It gives the aircraft that unmistakable fighter jet look, while also serving practical purposes. The tint helps reduce heat inside the cockpit, especially on warm days, while also improving visibility by cutting glare. The demonstrator aircraft is equipped with a Cockpit Avionics suite, providing modern digital flight displays and advanced instrumentation. However, buyers can also choose Garmin avionics depending on their preference. Standard equipment includes a 2-axis autopilot, along with fully modern glass cockpit displays. Some versions even include duplicated flight instruments and controls in both seats, allowing the aircraft to be used for training and instruction. For such a small aircraft, the cockpit feels surprisingly advanced. And then comes the moment every aviation fan waits for: the first flight. The narrator straps into the rear seat for the test flight, and the first surprise hits immediately. The cockpit actually feels comfortable and more spacious than expected for such a compact aircraft. Nothing cramped, nothing awkward. As the engine hums steadily, the Shark begins to taxi. The ride feels smooth thanks to its sprung trailing link landing gear, absorbing bumps easily along the surface. Despite the warm afternoon outside, the tinted canopy keeps the cockpit surprisingly cool. Before rolling onto the runway, the pilot walks through the takeoff plan. At 35 knots, the nose wheel will lift. At 55 knots, the aircraft becomes airborne. Climb initially happens around 65 to 70 knots, then settles into an 83-knot climb. The runway itself is only about 400 meters of tarmac, which makes what happens next even more impressive. The Shark accelerates quickly. Within seconds, the front wheel lifts, the aircraft rises smoothly, the gear retracts, flaps come up, and suddenly the aircraft is climbing strongly into the sky. But the real fun starts once the aircraft reaches altitude. At around 6,000 feet, the Shark levels out for cruise testing. Even running at just 75% power, the aircraft quickly settles into a cruise speed of about 144 knots true airspeed. Then the pilot does something every aviation enthusiast hopes for. He hands over the controls. The side stick feels different at first. The movement is short and precise, but once you get used to it, the response feels sharp and direct. The aircraft feels balanced, stable, and surprisingly easy to control. During turns, very little rudder input is needed, which makes the flying experience feel smooth and natural. Around the cloud tops, the ride stays calm and steady. The aircraft also carries ADS-B and FLARM traffic awareness systems, helping pilots detect nearby aircraft. But just before landing, there's one last thrill. The Shark blasts across the runway in a low pass at 150 knots, only 200 feet above the ground. And at that height, the speed suddenly feels absolutely insane. But here's the part that really shows how thoughtfully this aircraft is engineered. One of the more unusual features inside the Shark is its movable ballast system. Instead of permanently fixing the aircraft's weight balance, the designers built a simple but clever solution. A 6-kilogram steel ballast weight can be repositioned depending on how the aircraft is being flown. If 2 people are on board, the ballast sits in the front position to keep the center of gravity balanced. But if the pilot is flying solo, the weight moves to the rear position. It's a small adjustment, but it ensures the aircraft always maintains the correct center of gravity, which is critical for safe and predictable handling. And then there's the aircraft's biggest safety feature. The Shark is equipped with a ballistic recovery system, often called BRS. This is essentially a rocket-deployed parachute designed to bring the entire aircraft safely down in an emergency. Because the cockpit uses a tandem layout, the system includes 2 activation handles, one in the front seat and one in the rear. Either pilot can trigger the parachute if needed. What makes the Shark even more unusual is the direction of deployment. Instead of firing out from the rear like most systems, the parachute actually deploys forward from the nose of the aircraft. And there's another benefit that many pilots appreciate. In some cases, after the parachute has been deployed and the aircraft recovered, the Shark can actually be repaired and flown again. Most aircraft are permanently written off after a BRS deployment. That alone makes this system far more practical for owners.
Hi, we're here at Jonesboro, Arkansas for the first annual Sharkansaw 2025. We've got a gathering of Shark owners and interested people that have brought their aircraft in. It's a chance for us to exchange ideas, fly together, maybe have a little bit of fun, and learn more about the Shark.
Now, with all that performance and technology, the big question naturally becomes, what does something like this actually cost? A fully equipped Shark, like the demonstrator aircraft, comes in at around €261,000 plus VAT. Depending on the configuration and taxes, that pushes the total close to $300,000. For that price, buyers aren't just getting the aircraft itself. The package typically includes a full avionics suite, dual flight controls, instructor configuration, and the ballistic parachute system. Delivery times can vary depending on demand, but in many cases, new buyers may wait several months before their aircraft is ready. Now, at first glance, that might seem like a lot for an ultralight aircraft, but many pilots actually see it differently. When you look at the performance, the range, and the advanced construction, many owners believe the Shark offers serious value for what it delivers. And the type of pilot it attracts is quite interesting. Some buyers are older pilots who can no longer pass strict aviation medical exams, yet still want to fly. Others are aviation enthusiasts searching for a high-performance recreational aircraft that feels exciting every time it leaves the runway. Some owners simply want a second airplane purely for fun flying. Meanwhile, the broader market for high-performance light sport aircraft continues to grow. Thanks to carbon fiber technology and evolving aviation regulations, more aircraft like this are appearing. Even with that growing competition, the Shark still manages to stand out. Its combination of speed, efficiency, and unmistakable design keeps it firmly on many pilots' wish lists. The Shark proves ultralight aircraft can be fast, advanced, and incredibly exciting. With fighter-like looks, impressive range, and easy access to flying, It's no surprise pilots everywhere are talking about it. So what do you think of the Shark? Let me know below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.